The health and it had poured that man president.
Security view by everybody that protect from the latest scale. Those stories and more tonight on Nightly Business Report for Tuesday, October 17th.
Good evening and welcome. Happened if just a moment. Well-known index it broke 3,000 first time and take long Dow. It's that milestone. In early August, the Dow first closed above 22,000, and the index got lift today. Healthcare reported strong expected profit. More on that moment. Well, let's cheer for the Dow average 40. It just below 23,000. Nasdaq fell ever so slightly. The S&P 500 rose and was up nearly 2. Bob takes a look. Major milestone.
Another day, big milestone. Now the index of the 20s mark intraday for the first, though just shy of a closing high above 23,000. So Boeing and Caterpillar and Goldman Sachs, Home Depot, those were the four majority of those since 20. You might a lot of thousands last year. You think hallucinating? It's partly it's an shallower climb to get to the next plateau. The higher we go. But over the last 18 months, the Dow's gone from 1823 to gain of 1,000 points months. Took the Dow to go from 18 to 19,000. 2 months to get from 20 and in 2 months 20 to 12,000. This time around, it's taken a little over 2 months to get from 22 to 23,000. So there's been 3 distinctions of this 5,000 rally. Was the recovery. Both had been 20 into 20. That characterized as an earnings positive in 2016, and earnings took off, and the stock market took off. Second, the election trumps the sectors that lowered and structure would boot on the road. We're in this we call growth trade, the recent trade happening right now, characterized by an expanding global economy, rates, hope for a yield curve, and tax. 20 about the record setting of the fourth. This number 1, a reverse curve earning, not likely right now, or more aggressive Federal Reserve. That's possible. We could have some global growth slowdown, affect stock, or the potential of the market. For now, I'm Bob Stock.
Lauren joins now to talk more about what happened in the market today and what she sees ahead for stocks. She's principal investment strategist at Jones. Nice to have
you. Glad to be here.
How do you market at lofty level, that 23,000 big round for a DAX? Overall, does the market look fairly valued, overvalued? Are you finding pockets of opportunity?
Certainly opportunity. Overall, certainly still a little bit if they're not inexpensive used to be. But I don't think investors be overworried about, because when you look at history, what you see is stocks continue to rise, especially after they hit big ones like number just did. They just tend to a little bit more volatility and think investors prepare for.
Last few years, very good investors. How do I set my expectations now for the next 3 to 5 years?
Well, if you look at the last 5 years, U.S. returned about 4% per. That's his average. And you period of average, you slightly below average returns. So we're expecting 5 to 6% per year going forward. That's still better than bonds, than cash. It's not what it's what we think need to prepare.
Does it matter in your case? Because there's a relation that will pull December, and we also have the president saying he's going to make a decision on whoever the new Fed chief will be, or whether he's going to keep the current Fed chief in place in November.
Do you think certainly matters? So I think less right now than you might think. And the reason is, with the economy improving and with solid economic growth, I think that whoever is Fed is likely to use this steady of interest rates. And does that for investors into? I think the Fed is moving slowly and steadily. That's actually good news for stocks because they're not likely to be surprises. That could change. See that. Thing is, interest rates more expensive. Time that's something that has become but I don't see that happening anytime soon. The third thing is, if inflation rises unexpectedly, that is a risk. Right. And then the Fed might raise rates more. That would be one of the risks we see. But we don't see any higher inflation. Okay. So no price increases, no rate increases that are unexpected right now.
Kate, thank you. We have to leave it there. Thank you for joining us. Kate Warren, we're Jones.
Could potentially help out tomorrow. Well, reporting better earnings late today. Those results by the company Cloud Security Services, and that sent shares higher in initial after-hours trading, despite IBM turning in its 22nd quarter consecutive decline. Josh, now with IBM's.
IBM worked hard and redefining new business. Company calls these markets strategic imperatives. It includes artificial intelligence, analytics, cybersecurity, cloud. Order revenue division point a different percent. RBC are not important as nations grow, offset this in IBM traditional business lines. For Nightly Business Report, I'm Josh Lipton, San Francisco.
As we mentioned a bit earlier, United Health helped lift today after better than results. Shares rose 5%, and it was one of the blue chippers to post quarterly results. The others were Johnson & Johnson and Goldman Sachs, and the results mixed. United Health reported net of $2.5. It's more than it NH ratings next year. Its rep up 1% to more than $50 billion. might have been up even more. But UNH says withdrawing from the Affordable Care Act took $1.6 billion since as in its is the bigger item.
Prescription prices are out of control. The drug prices have gone through the roof.
President Trump's latest comments on drugs have lights for some drugs. And John's biggest prescription members' side story.
All cost here is a topic we should be talking about, but drug prices represent only 14% of overall health care costs. And what's in the discussion is the amount that they pay patients and reduce the cost. We're not talking.
J&J prescription sales were up quarter to more than $9 billion. It posted top and bottom line beats. J&J its 20 earnings for the inner goal. Also expect the income and rating sale up 6%. That drop, however, was not as bad as many analysts feared. Some of businesses better. He returns up 1% and less this year. And in J&J, the company scored a legal victory. A Missouri appeals court today tossed out a $72 million jury verdict. Its talc caused of cancer, found that did not have insane that follows a court ruling out of states. Dangers other Missouri verdicts against J&J, as well as hundreds of actions filed against the company.
Two leading lawmakers have struck a short-term deal to size the CARE Act exchange between Republican Lamar Alder and Democrat Senator Murray, days after Trump decided to halt payments to insurers that help make coverage more affordable for low-income enrollees. It would reinstate those federal subsidies for states with ability to health states. President Trump signaled support the measure.
Lamar has been working very, very hard with the Democratic his colleagues on the other areas, one of in particular, and coming up fairly close short term. And the solution about a year, 2 years, short term, so that we don't have this very dangerous little period.
John Harwood is following the story. Washington, Joe, a lot that me about watch days. Would the president with receiving these described recently yesterday as nothing short of payoffs to insurers?
Well, perhaps because they're not payoffs to insurers. They're things that make low income. A lot of people, Donald Trump, makes them to afford pocket car. Obama, it's what makes the system work. And even as the president was making those statements publicly, privately, he was encouraging Lamar all over the week to those negotiations. So I think sometimes strong word sticks in nations, and I think that's the way to look at his statements then. The question now is whether other Republicans, especially in the House, are going to go along with this and then move on to or whether extend Obamacare prospect result in their guard.
What to tell you, John? Where from here do you?
I have to think that the fact that Lamar Alexander and Patty Murray came out with this deal, Lamar Alexander is a very experienced and credentialed applicant, and Mitchell, having pulled the plug, negotiate, Senate tried time in them to get, and that then came and praised it today. I think that is a sign that it is likely in the end that this deal or something very close to this deal is going to law. But assurance whatsoever, we've seen with want to earn, they want to see an argument been made for a very long time. This is their moment to govern.
All right, John Harwood in Washington tonight. Thank you.
A federal in Hawaii issued an order blocking parts of its newest ban, suggesting it immigrant that effectively the administrative travel rules they were scheduled to take effect tomorrow. The Justice Department plans to appeal that ruling.
The latest round of NAFTA talks in stale Canada and have rejected. They view hardline proposals renegotiate with American deal. The ministers free nation agreed to talks into NATO to work out some of the challenges.
Parties have now put forward substantially all initial texts, new proposed and significant to gathering the parties have called upon all negotiators to explore creative ways to bridge these gaps.
Sticking point auto manufacturing and how New Deal passed.
Congressman Marino drawn his consideration as a drug czar. President Rep. Marino has informed me that he is withdrawing his name from consideration as drug czar. Thomas Fine-Mann and Congressman vote. And comes a joint report by the Washington 60 found legislation by the Marino, the Drug Administration in its fight against the opioid crisis.
Still ahead, how much is too much when it comes to spend original? The Netflix planning to spend big money on original content over the next year. The company says it will now spend between $7 and $8 billion programming in 18. That raises about content. Wilson is search analyst Jaffrey, and he joins us now. Nobody with Netflix ability to attract new subscribers or collect lots of money, but I guess some people raised eyebrows when they saw that $1 billion price let the company spend on.
Huge now, same time necessary in order for the continue to differentiate its content from other services that are out there and have a competitive offering that keeps subscribers interested and engaged. They're going to need to continue on more of that original content. This 25 of their spend content over the next. Expect that closer to 50.
Does subscriber growth then have to match or outpace the costs that they're spending for content?
Absolutely. Look at it today. Subscriber growth pacing of the content about it as continues. That puts in a good place long-term margin improvement, and we expect that'll continue to be the case. And in fact, over time, we expect that subscriber growth will increasingly outpace the cost of content.
Where is this day and it going?
We think that huge opportunity international. In particular, look today, about 50% of internet households in the U.S. have Netflix subscriptions, and if you look at international, actually 1%. Huge opportunity for international Netflix. We think over it can drive profit improvements. Ultimately, we 12-month of $200 for Netflix.
You know, when I looked at the chart that we just put up, I mean, it has been a phenomenal performer on Wall Street. Do you anyone in this that is close to terms of original content, or are they pretty in themselves?
Well, from a competitive standpoint, it's fairly limited. If you think about the offerings that are out there today, closest are Amazon Video, free subscription, and they're spending significant content as multiples of dollars per year. And then the next closest would probably be Hulu after that, and they're also spending quite a bit as well for their subscription service as well as an advertising. So editors, no one that's what Netflix today.
And Michael, I'm going to watch some Netflix and Jeffrey and a lot.
Thank you.
Morgan Stanley's results top expectations. That's where we begin tonight's market focus. The financial firm credited to management offset its sales income trades. Only shares to 40.12. Harley-Davidson lower than quarterly sales for motorcycles in the U.S. continues to decline, and the motorcycle maker said it expects the weakness in the industry too. Shares of rose 2% to 42. Rail operator CSX reports in its net profit increase and good shipment as higher freight rates. But the company's revenue took a hit as it suffered from service delays in the quarter as it works to overhaul its operations. Shares of CSX rose more than 2.5%, 54.
The implied company of Grain reported earned estimates for growth with strategic initiatives and digital activity. Shares jumped more than 12% on the day to 205.42. And Omnicom's quarterly earnings topped despite a revenue from last. The company's advertising and business increased. Public relations are behind. Omnicom shares up better than 2% to 75.59.
We told you yesterday about a vulnerability that affects every protected. In other words, just about every hold crack, and there that you can now to make sure that you are protected. Andrea Day has details.
It's called crack, a gate in the Wi-Fi or the Day2 sensor.
W2 is a protocol. Wi-Fi is to authenticate secure communications between the device and the router.
It's usually secure, but he says with this flaw, an attack physical of the Wi-Fi could connect it and steal it. All
It could username. It could be information that they're sending via email. All of your information, all of your personal information passes through your net.
And every vulnerable phone, computer can connect Wi-Fi.
Top target, hotel Wi-Fi, public Wi-Fi, hotspots in airports and coffee shops.
The flaw was to secure. No evidence it's been the vendor have fixed it. Microsoft, quote, delivered updates on October 10th to protect our customers as soon as possible. Apple will release an update to its operating in the coming will include now data systems. According to who law, Android Connect to Wi-Fi makes them more at risk. Android's maker, Google, tells us, quote, we're aware of the issue at patching affected to the coming week. And Carter, best step is to all systems. It's a new update. Sure you in right away. And as he's trying to personas on public Wi-Fi. For Nightly Business Report, I'm Andrea Day.
Coming off the NFL and players on ground divisive, one hurting. Here's a look at tomorrow that American report Fed will Bay book survey on U.S. economic conditions. China's president will make a speech. Open party. That is much.
One firm is lower rate NFL hurts his earnings. Credit Suisse third quarter for the company, citing a 17% decline in ratings during the first several weeks of the football season. The call comes as owners meet to the anthem issues. Chemi is at a meeting for New York. So Eric, specifically today.
So, Sue, this is their annual fall meetings. They meet every year, but this year it's not normal because there are issues of league. You said that you test their things. Sales, merchandise, cast like they're the next quarter. So, got to get back on track. Players and owners coming together to figure out, are they going to let the anthem protest derail what should actually be a football, not an agenda, the main of the meeting?
Did they make progress today? No. Number two, how are meetings affect companies, broadcast, etc.?
So in terms of specific progress, they didn't actually say there's a rule that's have to stay. But what is players and owners, and some call it an agree want to work on issues forward, and they're going to keep those discussions. They said there was a watershed moment to bring players and owners together. But as far as the businesses go, like you said, CBS, they really were NFL because cast business turning to be a deal. As I already said, on a watch as long as play league. So bigger didn't have it for that today.
Yeah. Well, what else can we expect as the meeting continues?
So it's a two-day meeting. Meet today. They'll tomorrow work through a lot of issues. Part of Anthem, it is just regular business. Not you would talk about it, regular business. Other thing that done, Roger Commissioner, he's negotiating a 5-year extension on his contract. So obviously he wants a lot of this drama to go away so that he can get back with his own personal career.
Eric, so much. Eric Chemnitz.
Got it. Finally, 400 people in America and than ever. Minimum worth to make Forbes 400 list is now a record $2 billion. I'm not there. Topping the list for the 24th consecutive year is Gates, 89, Bezos, 2, net 81 billion. Rounding up Florida and Buffett to year, the second for 15 straight years. The biggest gainer, Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg, ranked 4th. President Trump saw his fortune fall 100 million, about 3, like tough real estate. He came number 8 on the list.
And here's a look at how the stock market finished the day, a day that saw the Dow briefly break the 23,000 mark. The Dow gained 40 points to close at 22.99. Now fractional S&P 5 was up 2. But for Nightly Report tonight, I'm thanks for
me, Tyler. Have a great evening, buddy. We see you back here tomorrow night.